And I'm back. Now I know that's, if you've been following me for a while, that's the last thing I said. And then I just didn't post anything until this video. It's a bit embarrassing. But a lot has happened between that video and now. And that's what I'm going to explain you guys in this video. And if you're new to the channel and to me, I'm going to explain everything. How right now I don't want to say successful, but I'm an online coach. I help personal trainers, athletes, coaches, or just people who have gone through a transformation mentally or physically themselves, become an online coach like I did 8 years ago. That's everything that I do now. But of course, I didn't start there. So I'm going to take you back all the way to the beginning, and then you get to know the real me a little bit better. So it all started, like, I always loved sports. My brother was quite into fitness and doing curls, so I was around him. And then he was doing wakeboarding, so I wanted to, of course, join my brother. So when I was 5 years old, I started water skiing. And that was something I had to do for 1 year, according to my parents, to then start over and do wakeboarding, which is what I actually wanted to do. Did that for, I think, 7 years or 6 years. 6 years, I think it is. Anyway, then we moved to Spain, and am I saying this right? No, Anyway, there I fell in love with kickboxing, MMA, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I've been doing that for a long time. I actually first started kickboxing because when we first moved to Spain, I didn't speak the language. All I could say was, sí, no, hola, adios. That's it. So of course, when you're a young teenager and you're just moving to a country, it's quite hard. So I could communicate in a certain way with kickboxing, and there I met April, and she was Dutch, and she kind of helped me with the Spanish, and I started to make friends thanks to the sport. And that's why I love sports, because I'm truly grateful for everything that sports have done to me. And literally every single thing that I have is thanks to the sports. That I speak Spanish is thanks to kickboxing, because without it, we probably moved back to Holland, because I didn't have any friends and I just didn't know how to fight through it. And then thanks to that, I just created this fighter spirit where now I see problems as like an obstacle and you just have to find a solution. Now, then I started to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as well. Really cool sport, and I really fell in love with that one. And I was doing MMA and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I just trained a lot, but like a lot. Then I'm also dropped out of school. Not something, if you're young and you're watching my channel, not something I recommend. But I just knew that school wasn't for me. And I just wanted to pursue something in sports. And my parents said, well, if you really want to do so, go after it. But don't drop out and go start smoking weed like the teenagers used to do. Well, they still do here in Spain. I don't know where you live, but... And I was just training every single day, morning till evening. That was what I did. And now, don't think I come from a rich family where I was put in that situation. We had to fight. Trust me. And that's also why I have this pineapple tattoo. Because we were in one stage in our life, everything was going quite bad. And then we were eating this cheap pizzas. And whenever we had a little bit of spare money, my mom, she would get me pineapples and put that on the pizza. And that's why I have this pineapple. It represents the pineapple times. And that's something I don't want to go back to. And now you know why I have a pineapple on my arm. And anyway, getting off track from the sports things here. I got really good in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I won quite a big Spanish competition, and that meant I had to move from the white belt and the 4 stripes up to the blue belt. But I was still 17. And when you move to the blue belt, that means that you are going to go into the adult division, 18, 19, 20, whatever. You're going to fight against those. So that was a bit of a scary thing, right? So the most logical thing, I had to get stronger. And there's where I started doing CrossFit. So I first started CrossFit with the intention of becoming stronger for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But then I just fell completely in love with CrossFit. Like you had cardio, like conditioning, running, rowing, gymnastics, weightlifting, powerlifting. You can combine everything. You can compete every day. You can focus on yourself. Like there was so much to do, and I just really, really loved it. And quickly, I decided to just go all in on CrossFit. And we put the goal of becoming a CrossFit Games athlete before my 25th birthday. And I made that happen when I was 2019, so that's 5 years ago, 22. So we did make the goal happen. And how did we make that happen? Funny enough, to online coaching. Not only because of online coaching, it was hours of training and just, training. You can put it very fancy, but it's just waking up early, training, and then analyzing your stuff and doing even more. But I was doing group sessions in CrossFit. I got my level 1 certificate, so I could coach in the groups. And then I realized I was making €7 an hour. This is quite hard to make a good living and then train. And I had to do 6-hour shifts. And then you have to do your training all before. But if you want to go to that next level, you can't really squeeze everything in. Like you have to do your morning session, take a break, do an evening session, take a break, do your night session, whatever. But you cannot say, I'm going to do 3 sessions and I'm just going to do it back to back to back, because you're just exhausted and your body needs food, you need to rest, you need to recover. So I started doing PT sessions, and I was directly starting to make quite a lot more money, €25 an hour. And that was actually going quite good. And I was getting more clients. But then what ended up happening again is they, of course, want to train on the good times. And I had to wake up very early, train, and then do a few coachings and train. And I was just getting exhausted. And there came a point where I was just realizing that, yes, I was making okay money, but I was never going to make it to the CrossFit Games. And also about the money, it was really nice whilst I was coaching. But if 2 clients got sick, that sucks. If I wanted to go on a training camp, I just directly couldn't go, because that meant I wasn't going to get any income that week. I had to pay for my tickets, my flights, and everything. That's not going to work, is it? So there's why I make quite a bold move, and I went fully online. And I first called it What's Sam Doing, which I kind of stole from Rich Froning, the 2014 till 2018 champ, I think, if I'm saying this right, of CrossFit. No, 2014 was his last year, then it was Matt Fraser. Anyway, he was very good in CrossFit. I always looked up to him, and then he had his What's Rich Doing program. So I decided, you know what, if he can do it, I can do it. Just a crazy mindset, right? And I just spent all my free time figuring out how to make it happen, because I had no clue. And I made all the mistakes you can possibly make. Sending PDFs, doing on WhatsApp, Facebook, you name it. I just made a lot of mistakes, but I did make it happen. And once the ball started rolling, and you can compare this to when you see like the powerlifters, when they're gonna push a truck, like the first steps, they're very, very, very hard. But then once the truck finally moves, it moves and it goes faster and faster, and they end up kind of running, and it depends on the cardio. That's how you can see my journey. So it started very rough, but then once it started to take off, it started to go quite good. And my people started to mention me in the stories, and they were happy, and then they brought on more people, and it started to get really quite big. And that allowed me to get a home gym, just literally walk down the stairs, train, go in training camps. And because of those things, I got a lot more freedom. I could go finally on those training camps I always wanted to go to, weightlifting camps. and just like a CrossFit camp in Mallorca I went to. And that forged me into this CrossFit Games level athlete. In 2018, I went to the regionals, which is like a European Championships. 2019, I went to the CrossFit Games. 2020, I was supposed to go again, but Corona happened. So they just wrote us a very nice email saying pretty much that we were going to get a refund and we were not going to go. And I'm not going to lie, that bothered me a lot, because it just showed us, well, at least it showed me, what we were for them. We were just a number, and that's it. On top of that, what not many people know, when you, and to be honest, I don't know how it is nowadays. Like, I'm out of the CrossFit scene for quite a while now, but back then you had to pay for the open, and then if you made it to the CrossFit Games, we had to pay $250 or $270, which back then to me was quite a lot of money, to be honest. And it's just ridiculous if you think about it. They get $3,000 per gym, per CrossFit box in the world, so that's like millions. If you want to get your level 1 license, which you need to get in order to coach in a level 1 in a CrossFit official box, then you have to pay $1,000 as well. Maybe it's even more now. You cannot open a CrossFit official box if you don't have that level 1 license. So they have this huge infrastructure of making money. And in the end of the day, it's a company. It's not a sport. It's a company. And then us, the athletes, who are going to fill up an arena, and maybe not me, of course, it's going to be Matt Fraser and those guys that actually fill up the arena. I know that. But I was still a games athlete, and then everyone, even Matt Fraser, he has to pay in order to compete there. To me, that's just outrageous. So that annoyed me already. And then when that just happened, we didn't even get a t-shirt or the certificate of Fitness Man in Holland printed out. We just literally got an email, you're not going to go, we get a refund, and that's it. See ya. Ciao. Until next year. So there I started also to realize, is this a sport I really want to focus on? And now looking at what happened in 2024, I made a pretty good call, because someone literally drowned in the CrossFit competition where they have lifeguards and people on paddle boards for security. Now, probably going to get a lot of hate for this and saying this in this video, and it has nothing to do with me. But it's very disappointing how CrossFit treated that. And even the brother of this person said that he fell in love with the sport and didn't love him. And that's exactly how I felt. And what happened to me is so little. It can't even compare to the person who drowned. But still, they just only care about themselves. That's how I feel about it. So I kind of left CrossFit there and started to focus more on marketing for a while. And just doing fitness in general, like just going to the gym, try to do some CrossFit, but since I've only done it competitively, I cannot do it for fun. And I know that sounds weird, but as soon as it says 3, 2, 1, or you hear that doot, 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 I get stressed. And then my whole mindset of like, I'm gonna take it easy, I have like 8 meetings today, whatever, out the window, full blast, banging out as many I can unbroken, lifting the weight that I shouldn't be lifting because I have this busy day. And then the whole day I just feel like shit. I'm like, my back hurts, my trap hurts, my biceps are so sore. And then for what? And what happens is that when I'm working here, or here in this office, I feel like I'm not giving my 100% because I'm just exhausted and I want to sleep and I want to rest. And in the CrossFit, I feel exactly the same. I feel like I could have done a second session. Maybe I should have gone for a run. Maybe I should have improved this weakness a little bit more. And that's why I decided to just completely step away from it and just go to the gym, because that's something I can actually enjoy, get a pump going, and just feel good about working out. And that's what I've been doing for quite a long time. Then I also got, in the meantime, thrombosis, which Apparently it's like a genetic thing. My granddad died from one. So it was 6 months of doing absolutely nothing. Like just laying on a sofa, because it's like a blood clot in I had it in my left leg. And that can like pop up into your heart, your lungs, or your brain. And then it's pretty much just game over, just to put it that way. So that was a scary time as well. And that also made me realize that competitive CrossFit wasn't really for me. Now, for those wondering, why didn't you keep coaching all the athletes that you had in the program, in Storm programming? Because I felt like I had to lead by example. Now, with all the knowledge I have now, I could have done it a lot different, and I probably should have. But back then, I wanted to test workouts. I wanted to be on top of CrossFit. I wanted to test everything, and I would stay up late to see what the open workout was, prepare for the athletes, and test stuff, give them tips. That was how I was coaching back then, leading by examples. And I was also giving a lot of workouts that I did. And when you decide to not do that anymore, I felt like now I cannot really teach people anymore how to do this. Now, like I said, everything I know now, it's a bit of a stupid excuse, and I should have kept it off. I should have kept on going with the coaching. Is that the right phrase in English? But anyway, it is what it is. And everything happens for a reason, because now we're here with OPT, which is what I do now. So what I do now is I help coaches, personal trainers, athletes, or like I mentioned in the beginning, people with a mental or physical transformation themselves earn a living fully online. That's what I do. I've done it 8 years ago myself, and it's been the best decision I've ever done, because you can just literally do whatever you want, whenever you want. Not literally, of course, you have to do your check-ins, you have to do whatever, like those kind of things, like some onboarding calls, you have to do sales calls and coaching calls, but you are in control of your day, and that to me has no price. I couldn't imagine anymore having to wake up early to go to work for a boss. And might sound weird, but I only had a boss for a few months, and I was like, this is not for me. And since then I've always been grinding out for myself. And now I just teach that to others with OPT and how they can do it. And how that actually starts, also a funny story. A friend of mine, he's a very successful personal trainer. He might even be the most expensive one in the area. And he asked me, how did you do this and that when you went online? And I just thought that was so obvious. So I'm like, you just do this and this. And you're like, okay. And he applied it, and he had like instant results. And he's like, okay, but now how about this and that? I can't even remember what it was. I'm like, now you do this and this. And that made me realize, hey, maybe I have something here. Maybe I can teach this to more people and help them become an online coach. They can help more people as well. They get more freedom. It's like a win-win-win. I win because I can help people and I can make my living that way. They win because they can go fully online and help people. And those people win because they get in shape, mentally or physically. So that's been the best decision ever. I made OPT, tested it on a few people. They all had results as well. And now we have 10, I think we're hitting the 100 very, very soon, people in the program. And it's just amazing. Like the work, it doesn't feel like work at all. The coaching calls are really, really cool. And that's what I do now. So it's been, I don't know how long this video turned out to be, but I think it's quite long. And that's my whole journey. So now, if you're new to the channel, if you want, you can hit that like button and subscribe, since I'm a YouTuber now and that's how they end the call in the videos, right? And I don't know what to say, to be honest now. Like I said, it's going to be uncut videos, so I'm not going to edit this any way, shape or form. So now I'm just going to stop it before I end up ranting even more. Ciao.